I dare you to disappear for 1 year, not run away, not escape. I'm talking about locking in, shutting out the noise, turning off the opinions, ignoring the distractions, and for once in your life, giving everything you've got to your growth. You see, we live in a world that celebrates being seen, likes, followers, validation. But the truth is, real transformation happens when nobody's watching, when you're in the dark, grinding, sacrificing, becoming. Discipline is a concept that's often misunderstood. People see discipline as a set of rigid rules, something that holds them back from freedom or enjoyment. But the truth is, discipline is the force that propels you toward the life you've always wanted. It's not about limiting yourself, it's about expanding your potential. Discipline is the key that unlocks your true power, the one thing that will keep you moving forward when everything inside you is screaming to quit. You see, the real magic happens when you commit to something, not just in the moment, but when you stick to it even when the excitement fades. It's easy to commit when you're motivated, when you're feeling inspired, when the idea of what you want to achieve feels fresh and exciting. But what about when the thrill dies down? What happens when you hit a wall, when the distractions come in full force, or when you don't feel like doing the work anymore? That's when discipline shows its true value. It's about pushing through those moments. It's about sticking to your promises even when you don't feel like it. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, on fire, ready to conquer the world. Other days you'll feel like you're stuck in quicksand, unsure of how to move forward. But if you rely only on motivation, you'll be caught in this cycle of highs and lows. You'll make progress, then stall. You'll succeed, then falter. You'll hit some goals, then drop the ball. The key to breaking out of this cycle is discipline. Discipline is the choice you make to act in alignment with your goals, even when it's hard. It's saying, I know I don't feel like doing this right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's showing up day after day, not because you always feel like it, but because you've made a commitment to yourself. It's choosing the long-term rewards over the short-term comfort. And that's what makes it so powerful. The truly successful people, the ones who achieve greatness, are the ones who have mastered this. They understand that success isn't about doing the big things right once or twice, but about consistently showing up and doing the small things every single day. It's the cumulative effect of all those little actions, all those seemingly insignificant decisions that lead to massive results. One day of discipline might not feel like much, but when you string together hundreds or thousands of those days, you'll realize that's where real change happens. You might not see it at first. You might feel like you're putting in the work and not getting the results fast enough. But trust me, every small act of discipline compounds over time. That one workout you pushed yourself to do when you didn't want to. That extra hour of work you put in when you felt drained. That moment when you resisted the urge to procrastinate and did what you knew you needed to do, it all adds up. It's all taking you closer to the version of yourself you've been dreaming of becoming. And over time, you'll look back and realize that your consistent discipline is what made all the difference. Discipline also builds character. It's not just about achieving your goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can achieve those goals. It's about strengthening your mindset, building resilience, and developing the grit to overcome challenges. It's about forging a self-image that says, I don't quit, I don't give up, I will keep going until I reach the finish line. And let's be clear, discipline doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It doesn't mean never making mistakes or never having setbacks. It means you don't give up just because things aren't going as planned. It means you get back up every time you fall. Discipline is about progress, not perfection. It's about staying the course even when the road gets tough. It's about showing up day after day, even when the results aren't immediate. Because in the end, those who succeed are the ones who outlast the challenges. They stay committed to their vision even when it's hard, and they keep moving forward, one disciplined step at a time. When you master discipline, you start to realize that your greatest asset is your ability to keep going. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers, the people who talk about success and the people who make it happen. the ones who are willing to push through the discomfort, to stay focused, to keep their eye on the prize no matter how long it takes, because they know that success is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. And every day, through every small act of discipline, they are choosing success. When you decide to disappear from the world, to step away from the noise and distractions that constantly demand your attention, you create the space to finally hear your own voice. The world today is louder than ever. We're surrounded by an endless stream of information, opinions, notifications, and expectations. It's so easy to get caught up in the external chatter that you begin to lose touch with what you truly want, what you truly need, and even who you really are. But when you choose to step back, when you choose to disappear for a while, that's when you can finally tune into your own inner voice, the one that's always been there, buried beneath the chaos. You're constantly being bombarded with messages telling you who you should be, what you should want, and how you should live your life. Social media fills our minds with comparison, advertising fills our pockets with desire, and everyone around us has an opinion about what we should do. The result? You lose touch with your authentic self. You start making decisions based on external expectations rather than what aligns with your true values and aspirations. This constant noise drowns out your own intuition, your inner compass that knows exactly where you need to go. But when you choose to disappear, when you turn off the world for a while, you regain control of your life. The world doesn't get to tell you what to do anymore. You decide. It's in the silence, in the moments of solitude, that you can finally hear the voice that's been drowned out by all the distractions. That voice knows your true purpose. That voice knows what you're capable of, even when you've forgotten. And that's when the magic starts to happen. Disappearing doesn't mean you're running away or hiding from your problems. It means you're creating the space to connect with yourself, to reset, and to realign with what matters most. It's about stepping back from the outside world long enough to gain clarity on your own thoughts and desires. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your focus so you can move forward with purpose and intention. The noise of the world will always be there. It's impossible to avoid it completely. But the key is learning to control how much of it you let into your life. When you disappear for a while, you take back your power. You stop reacting to the world around you and start acting in alignment with your own desires. You get to choose what to listen to and what to ignore. You get to decide what's worth your attention and what's not. In that space of disappearance, you have the opportunity to reflect on your life, to ask yourself the tough questions that you often avoid. Am I truly happy with where I am right now? Am I living the life I want to live, or am I just going through the motions? What am I really passionate about? What do I want to create in the world? These are the questions that often get lost in the noise. But when you disappear for a while, you can finally answer them. You can reconnect with your true self, free from the influence of others. You can tap into the deepest parts of your soul and uncover the answers that are already within you. By disappearing, you also give yourself permission to grow. Growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when you create the right conditions for it, when you take time away from the distractions, when you allow yourself to just be for a while. You create the space for new ideas to come to the surface. You give yourself permission to change, to evolve, and to step into a new version of yourself. You stop feeling the pressure to be who you were yesterday and instead embrace the person you are becoming. It's a radical act of self-care, an investment in your own future. The world doesn't need you to be everything to everyone all the time. The most important thing is that you're everything to yourself. When you disappear for a while, you're saying to the world, I matter, my time matters, my thoughts matter. And when you do this, you open the door to a new level of self-awareness, self-love, and personal power. The beauty of disappearing for a year is that you don't have to answer to anyone else during that time. You don't have to explain why you're taking a break or why you're stepping away. The only person you need to answer to is yourself. And in that space, you can rediscover your passions, realign with your purpose, and create a life that is truly yours. You can shed the layers of external influence and step into your true self with clarity, confidence, and a renewed sense of purpose. When you're obsessed with something, it becomes more than just a hobby or a goal. It becomes a part of your identity. You eat, sleep, and breathe it. Every decision you make, every move you take is filtered through the lens of that obsession. And when you have that level of focus and commitment, you begin to outwork those who rely solely on their natural abilities. Talent might give you an initial advantage, but obsession will carry you through the long haul. Obsession isn't just about being passionate. It's about a deep, relentless drive to improve and to achieve something greater than what you're capable of in the moment. It's the refusal to settle for mediocrity. It's waking up every day with a sense of purpose, a fire inside you that pushes you forward. Obsession doesn't allow for distractions or excuses. It keeps you focused, keeps you moving, even when the road is tough and when the results aren't immediate. Talent may open doors, but obsession keeps those doors open. When you're obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself, you don't let setbacks derail you. You don't let failure define you. Instead, you learn from it, grow from it, and push forward with even greater intensity. You see, it's in the moments of struggle when things aren't going your way that obsession becomes the defining factor. Talent will get frustrated. It will give up when it feels too hard, but obsession thrives in adversity. Obsession finds ways to turn failure into fuel, setbacks into stepping stones. Think about the most successful people in history. Most of them didn't rely on their innate talent to get where they are. Yes, they may have had some natural ability, but what set them apart was their obsession with their craft. They were willing to put in the hours, the practice, the work that others weren't. They were willing to do whatever it took, even when they didn't feel like it. While others may have been content with their natural gifts, they were relentless in their pursuit of mastery, constantly striving to improve, to evolve, to push the boundaries of what they could do. Obsession also involves a mindset that refuses to settle for the status quo. It challenges the notion of good enough and forces you to constantly ask, how can I do this better? How can I take it to the next level? This mindset of constant improvement is what separates those who become legends from those who are forgotten. The people who are truly obsessed are always looking for ways to improve, refine, and elevate their performance. Talent, by contrast, often leads to complacency. When talent gets praise, it can rest on its laurels, thinking it's enough. But obsession always sees the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and it pushes you to close that gap relentlessly. And here's the thing, obsession isn't just about the big moments. It's about the small daily actions that no one sees. It's the hours of practice when everyone else is sleeping. It's the willingness to sacrifice what's easy and comfortable in the short term for long-term growth. It's the willingness to say no to distractions, to say no to shortcuts, and to say yes to putting in the work that others won't. Obsession is not a one-time burst of energy. It's a continuous, everyday commitment to excellence. In the end, obsession is what takes you from being good at something to being great at it. Talent is an advantage, but obsession is what turns that advantage into extraordinary results. It's the thing that pushes you past your limits, past what you thought was possible, and it's the thing that will help you outlast anyone who relies on talent alone. Obsession doesn't stop, it doesn't settle, and it never ever gives up. It's that unwavering commitment to being the best, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. The most common thing that stands in the way of our success is the excuses we make. Excuses are the silent killers of progress. They allow us to delay our dreams, justify our actions, and convince ourselves that we're not ready, not capable, or not worthy. The truth is, your next level, the version of yourself you dream about, is hiding right behind the excuses you make. Every time you make an excuse, you're standing in front of a door that leads to something greater, but you're choosing to keep it locked, afraid to walk through. Excuses give you permission to stay where you are, to remain comfortable, and to avoid the discomfort that growth requires. They help you feel safe and secure in the short term, but they rob you of the opportunity to experience everything you're truly capable of. They allow you to stay stagnant, to remain in a place where you're never challenged and where you never experience the kind of growth that will take you to the next level. When you stop making excuses, that's when you start moving forward. That's when the doors to your potential start opening one by one. The thing is, excuses don't come with a warning. They're sneaky, they're subtle, and they often disguise themselves as valid reasons. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. It's not the right moment. These are the lies we tell ourselves to avoid doing the hard work. But here's the reality. Everyone is tired. Everyone has a million things to do, and the perfect moment rarely ever comes. If you wait for everything to align perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, if you want to level up, you have to do it when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, and when you feel like you have every excuse to back out. That's the moment you need to push the hardest. Every excuse you make is a roadblock to your future success. It's a way to avoid taking responsibility for your life and your dreams. It's easy to point fingers and blame circumstances, people, or the world around you. But the reality is that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. Your excuses are the biggest obstacle in your path. If you want to break through to the next level, you have to stop looking for reasons why it's impossible and start focusing on how you can make it happen. The truth is that nobody is immune to obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. We all face moments of doubt, fear, and resistance. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is their ability to keep moving forward in spite of those obstacles. While others make excuses and justify why they can't keep going, the ones who rise above the rest are the ones who push past those excuses. They don't let fear dictate their actions, and they don't let temporary discomfort hold them back. They move forward because they know that their next level is just beyond their excuses. If you truly want to get to where you've never been before, you need to recognize the excuses for what they are, limitations you've placed on yourself. You need to see them for the traps they are, designed to keep you comfortable and stuck where you are. And then you need to break through them. Every time you do, you move closer to that version of yourself that you know is possible. Every time you push through an excuse, you build resilience, strength, and confidence. You realize that the only thing that has ever stood in your way is the permission you've given yourself to make excuses. To level up, you must confront your excuses head on and recognize that they are simply a way to avoid facing the hard truths about what it will take to succeed. Success doesn't come to those who wait for everything to be perfect. It doesn't come to those who look for reasons why it's not the right time. Success comes to those who are willing to face the discomfort, push past their fears, and keep going, even when every part of them wants to quit. Your next level is waiting for you to stop making excuses and start taking action. It's right there on the other side of the excuses you've been telling yourself. And the moment you make the decision to stop letting excuses control your life, you will be amazed at how quickly everything else starts to fall into place. The doors to your potential are right in front of you. Stop blocking them and start walking through. The grind in the dark is one of the most powerful and underrated elements of success. When we talk about grinding, we often think about the hustle, the long hours, the work that everyone can see. But what most people don't realize is that the real grind happens when no one is watching, when you're putting in the effort behind the scenes, in the quiet moments where nothing seems to be happening. This is where true transformation occurs. It's easy to show up when the spotlight is on you, but the real magic happens when you're putting in the work when no one else is around, when it feels like nobody notices, and when you feel like no one cares. In those moments, when you're grinding in the dark, it's easy to feel like your efforts are going unnoticed, like they're not making any difference. But this is exactly where the real growth happens. Success isn't built on the moments when the world is cheering you on, when the applause is loud and everyone is watching. Success is built during the late nights, the early mornings, the times when you're putting in work when it feels like no one is paying attention. This is where you sharpen your skills, where you develop the habits, the mindset, and the perseverance that will ultimately carry you through when the lights are on and the pressure is high. Grinding in the dark is where you cultivate the discipline to keep going, even when the results aren't immediate, even when you feel exhausted, and even when the road ahead seems endless. It's easy to stay motivated when you're seeing progress every day, when everything is falling into place, but it's when things get tough, when the results aren't obvious, and when you feel like you're getting nowhere, that your true character is built. The people who succeed aren't the ones who throw in the towel when they don't see instant results. They are the ones who trust, that what they're doing is laying the foundation for something bigger, even if they can't see it yet. The grind in the dark is a test of your faith in the process. It's about trusting that the effort you put in today will pay off in the long run, even if you don't see the immediate rewards. It's about committing to the journey, not just the destination. When you're working behind the scenes with no one cheering you on, it's easy to question if it's worth it. But those who make it are the ones who keep going, who continue to put in the work, even when no one is applauding them. They don't need external validation because they believe in the process and in themselves. They understand that the work they're doing now is building something far greater than what they can see in the present moment. This kind of grind is also where you develop resilience. When you're working hard with no immediate payoff, it's easy to get discouraged, but it's in those moments of frustration, when you feel like giving up, that you build the mental toughness that will carry you through tougher challenges in the future. Resilience is forged in the dark moments, in the times when you have to push through even when the results aren't showing up. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up consistently, doing the work, and believing that your efforts are adding up, even when you can't see it yet. The grind in the dark also teaches you to focus on the process, not just the outcome. We live in a world where instant gratification is the norm. Social media tells us that success should be quick, that results should be immediate. But real success doesn't work that way. True success comes from putting in the work day in and day out, from committing to the process of growth and improvement, not just the end result. It's about falling in love with the journey, not just the destination. It's about dedicating yourself to becoming the best version of yourself, knowing that the payoff will come in time. The key to success is learning how to embrace the grind in the dark. It's about understanding that the hard work you're putting in now is not in vain, even if it feels like it. It's about committing to the process and believing that the results will come, even if they don't show up immediately. It's about trusting that your efforts are laying the groundwork for something bigger, even if you can't see the full picture yet. The grind in the dark is where success is truly built. It's where you create the habits, the resilience, and the mindset that will carry you through to your ultimate goal. Success isn't just about what happens when the spotlight is on you. It's about what happens in those quiet moments, when you're working hard, grinding away in the dark, preparing yourself for the breakthrough that's yet to come. The fear of failure is one of the most paralyzing forces that can hold you back from reaching your true potential. It can be so overwhelming that it stops you from taking risks, making decisions, and pursuing your dreams. But here's the truth. Failure is not the enemy. It's the most powerful tool you can have in your journey towards success. The fear of failure is the one thing that keeps you playing small, keeps you stuck in your comfort zone, and prevents you from ever reaching the greatness you're capable of. The reality is, failure is inevitable. It is a part of life and a part of growth. Everyone who has ever achieved something great has failed. Some have failed more times than they can count. But what sets successful people apart from those who never achieve their goals is their relationship with failure. They don't fear it. They don't see it as a final destination or a reflection of their worth. Instead, they see failure as feedback, as a lesson that helps them improve, evolve, and get closer to their ultimate success. Failure teaches you more than success ever could. When you succeed, you celebrate, but the lessons are often fleeting. Success can make you complacent. It can trick you into thinking that the road ahead will always be smooth. But failure strips away the illusion of ease. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, to examine where you went wrong, and to find ways to improve. Discomfort is often the birthplace of growth. When you fail, you're forced to analyze your approach, to question your assumptions, and to refine your methods. It's through failure that you gain the wisdom and experience that will ultimately lead you to greater achievements. What's truly powerful is how failure forces you to get back up again, to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. It's in these moments of adversity that your character is built, the ability to bounce back from failure, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's about developing the resilience to keep fighting, even when the odds are stacked against you. Each time you face failure and choose to keep going, you strengthen your mental toughness, and you build a sense of confidence that will carry you through even bigger challenges in the future. Fear of failure is often tied to our desire for perfection. We live in a society that values perfection and instant success, and because of that, we are afraid to show our flaws, to admit our mistakes, and to try something that might not work out. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist, and success doesn't happen overnight. The path to greatness is messy, it's full of ups and downs, and it's never linear. The key is to embrace that messiness, to accept that failure is simply part of the process, and to keep moving forward regardless of how many times you fall down. Each failure is just another step toward success, and without those missteps, you would never have the opportunity to learn and grow. One of the biggest reasons people fear failure is the judgment of others. We worry about what people will think of us, how they will perceive our mistakes, and whether we will be seen as weak, incompetent, or incapable. But the truth is, no one has the right to judge your journey but you. And most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to be concerned with your failures. The people who truly matter, those who support and care for you, will understand that failure is a natural part of life. They will cheer you on through the tough times, knowing that you are not defined by your mistakes, but by your ability to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep improving. The fear of failure only has power if you allow it to. When you change your perspective on failure and see it for what it truly is, a stepping stone, not a roadblock, you will unlock your full potential. You'll stop playing it safe. You'll stop waiting for the perfect moment. You'll begin to take bold action, knowing that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. The sooner you accept failure as part of the process, the sooner you'll be able to move past it and get closer to your goals. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by failing often, by learning from their mistakes, and by continuing to push forward even when the road was tough. They understood that failure is not the end, it's just the beginning. They knew that every failure was simply a lesson, a challenge to grow, and an opportunity to get closer to their dreams. And when you start viewing failure in the same light, you'll realize that there's nothing to fear at all.